Thank you for all for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. We will now begin the 2025 business update. I am Akiba from the Honda PR and your moderator today. Now, Mr. Toshihiro Mibe, Global CEO, will present our future direction with a focus on the four-wheel electrification strategies. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Since I became the global CEO of Honda in 2021, we have been constantly pursuing the vision of offering the joy and the freedom of mobility to people worldwide in a sustainable manner. As you know, Honda is a comprehensive mobility company offering the joy of mobility to customers around the world through a wide range of mobility products and services, including motorcycles, automobiles, and power products and aircraft. In order to sustainably offer the joy of mobility, we have put the highest priority on our initiatives in the area of the environment and safety. We set an ambitious goal to achieve carbon neutrality for all the project and corporate activities and zero traffic collision fatalities by 2050, and made it our vision to become the front runner in achieving these goals. In particular, for passenger wheels vehicles, we have made the strategic decision to make a major shift towards the popularization of EVs based on our belief that EV would be the optimal solution for achieving carbon neutralities. We have publicly announced our goal of increasing the ratio of EV and FECV sales to 100% globally by 2040, and it is necessary to reduce CO2 emissions not only during the product use but throughout the entire product life cycle, including the production and disposal of the batteries. To this end, last year we announced a plan to build a comprehensive EV value chain in Canada with a central focus on batteries. One of our goals with this project is to take battery technology in-house. And we believe that carbon neutrality is not something Honda can achieve alone, but needs to be pursued in a collaboration with a number of partner companies as well as the governments of many countries. In addition, Honda has been exploring various collaboration opportunities, including a discussion of a strategic partnership with Nissan and Mitsubishi Motors from the perspective of how we can scale up our massive investment required in the area of intelligent and electrification technologies, which will be key to creating a new value. The consideration of business integration was discontinued, but we are continuing the discussion to strengthen our strategic partners since we share the same recognition of the challenges. In the meantime, the environment surrounding our automotive business is changing drastically. In particular, it has become increasingly clear that the environmental regulations, which has been the premise for the widespread adoption of EVs, are taking direction towards a relaxation, mainly in the US and Europe. And in addition, the recent development in the trade policies of various countries are making our business environment increasingly uncertain. In contrast to the slowdown of the EV shift, demand for the hybrid electric vehicles is growing. We are forecasting that the demand of the HEVs will continue to grow towards 2030 rather. In light of the current situation, where the automotive business environment is changing significantly, we have re-evaluated the future direction of our automotive business. Our original motivation of the pursue electrifications and application of intelligent technologies is our strong determination to achieve the carbon neutrality and the zero collision fatalities by 2050. There is one more thing that we want to remain committed to in this journey. That is to continue offering a new value that helps, amazes, and inspires people through our mobility products and services. We believe that the key to this challenge will be the application of intelligent technologies in this coming era. In this increasing competitive business environment, creation of new values through application of intelligent technologies will be the key differentiating factors among the automakers. From this viewpoint, we have set two key directions for the realignment of our automotive electrification strategy, which we announced in 2021. Let me explain the first direction of the further enhancing competitiveness of our EV and HEV models, which the core focus of our application of intelligent technologies. So that will be adapted, and we will introduce some of our ADAS technologies. And with this focus on intelligent technologies, we will strengthen our business foundations and reassessing our powertrain portfolio, such as EV and HEVs. As for EVs, due to the recent market slowdown, our EV sales ratio in 2030 is now expected to fall below previously announced target of 30%. On the other hand, our current market demand of our HEV models is high. Therefore, we will position our HEVs, mostly next-generation HEV models, which we will introduce in 2027 onwards as a group product. With the strategic execution of this realignment by 2030, we will strive to grow further and achieve total automotive sales volumes above the current level of 3.6 million units, with a HEV sales target of 2.2 million units. Now, let me explain more detail of our strategy realignment. First, let's talk about development and the next generation ADAS. As one of our key technologies to enhance application of intelligent technologies, Honda is currently developing the next generation ADAS, which assists the driver with acceleration and steering operations throughout the entire route, especially in urban areas where there are various types of people sharing the road, including pedestrians and bicycle riders. Providing drivers assistance, such as making turns in the intersections, requires high sophisticated ADAS technologies. However, by leveraging recognition with behavior planning technologies, we have amassed through the development of the automated development technology. Furthermore, through our independently developed next generation ADAS, we will be able to accelerate and utilize various driving data obtained from our vehicles in the market. We will quickly leverage such data to our new value creations in the future, and we will always offer the most current value of the SDVs unique by Honda. Currently, the global automotive market, these next generation ADAS technologies are being adapted mainly to high-end EV and PHEV models due to the technical challenges such as the power supply constraints. However, our full-fledged hybrid system has technological advantages necessary to overcome such technological challenges without compromising performance, as meticulously performs highly efficient energy management. Also, based on the Honda's concept, which calls for the maximizing the space available for people and maximizing the space required for mechanical components, we will minimize the impact of installing ADAS-related devices on cabin space and the vehicle designs, which enables us to equip our small-sized vehicles with the next generation ADAS. By taking advantage of our large business scale combining EV and HEVs, we will develop next generation ADAS with a high competitiveness and low cost, and make it available for the lineup for the key models, which we are planning to launch in North America and Japan around 2027, including HEV categories where other OEM have not been able to offer. And in China, where the electrification and application of the intelligent technologies are proceeding faster than other areas, as recently announced in the Auto Shanghai, Honda will work with Momenta to develop next generation ADAS optimized for road conditions in China. In China, we will fully utilize local resources, including collaboration with the other companies in swiftly deliver products aligned with the needs of the Chinese customers. Now let me explain how we are going to strengthen our hybrid electrical vehicle strategies. In addition to installing next-generation ADAS to the broader range of models, we will further advance our already popular eHEV hybrid system and our platforms in all aspects. Both a small size and mid-size eHEV system will realize the world's most efficient powertrains through the various advancements such as expansion of range, where the engine operates most efficiently, and increase in the driving efficiency and hybrid use. And then that will be the next generation platform, which is advanced in all aspects, including the driving stability, occupant comfort, and the passive safety performance, as well as future weight reductions. Moreover, in order to increase the cost competitiveness of our HEV models, we are the core of our automotive businesses. We are pursuing a future cost reduction mainly, which key components of the HEV models, such as batteries and motors. Our initiative includes the cooperation activities with the suppliers, a further improvement of the production efficiency, and the commonization of the more parts and components. We are aiming to reduce the cost of the next generation hybrid system more than 50% compared to the hybrid system installed models introduced in 2018. In the North America market, which is the main battleground of our HEV models, there continue to be the solid demand for the large-sized vehicles with spacious interiors and high cargo or capacity. We will develop the hybrid system for the large vehicles, which will feature powerful driving performance, high towing capability, and so on. With this, in North America, we will offer the broad lineup of the HEV models ranging from the entry level to the large size models. While further refining our competitiveness in our products, starting in 2027, we will launch 13 HEV models globally that the future new value introduced to you today. Now, let me explain our initiatives in the EV business. As I mentioned earlier, due to the recent market slowdown, our EV sales ratio in 2030 is now expected to be below the previously announced target of 30%. In light of this outlook, we mentioned in the financial result announcement last week, we are reassessing our EV strategy and roadmap, including the plan for the product lineup and the timing of the relevant investment, including the EV value chain in Canada rather. Although we will revive our scale and the timeline in our automotive electrification strategy from now through around 2030. Therefore, we will steadily carry out that we have done so far to prepare the future shift. The Honda Zero Series, which will become the main pillar of our future EV, we are also set to launch the first generation models next year. We will offer the value of SDVs tailored to each and every user through the ultra-personal optimization. And in order to offer the even more sophisticated ADAS functions, the next generation Honda Zero Series models will be equipped with the centralized E&E architecture. In addition, jointly with Renesas Electronics, we will develop a high-performance SoCs, which will achieve one of our industry's top-class AI performance of the 2000 TOPS. Looking ahead for the forthcoming period of EV popularization, Honda will steadily work to build a strong EV brand and business foundations and long-term perspective. In summary, Honda, we are committed to creating the new, unique, and value and suited to the era of the intelligent and electrified motivation models. So,
So the next generation ADAS we introduced today is just one example. When the driver wants to take the wheel, they can enjoy high quality and exhilarating joy of driving unique only to Honda, and we drive. When the driver wants a stress-free ride to the destination, they can take advantage of the value of SDVs and enjoy a comfortable ride, whether on surface road or expressways. Honda will provide such a wide range of external value in your vehicle. As a symbol of the transformation of Honda automobile business, the new H mark will be used not only for EV models, but also for major HEV models, which will be introduced in 2027 and beyond. Regardless of powertrain, EV or HEV, Honda will remain committed to offering attractive products to our customers. In implementing measures to align our automobile electrification strategy, our production and procurement system will serve as a key advantage. Honda has adopted a resilient supply chain strategy that is not easily swayed by fluctuations in demand, such as shifts between EVs and HEVs, or by government policy changes in different countries. To address fluctuations in demand, Honda will establish a flexible production system that is capable of optimizing production according to demand and sales strategies. This will be achieved mainly with mixed model production lines that can produce both EVs and HEVs, such as the one we have at the Marysville Auto Plant in Ohio. In anticipation of a continuous growth in HEV sales and amid a long-term EV shift, Honda is working to secure a stable supply of electrified components, particularly batteries, by optimizing supply capacity and allocation, including effective use of existing assets. To address government policy changes, Honda has established supply chains based on our long-standing commitment to build products close to the customer, which is concept of local production for local consumption. For example, the local production ratio of Honda vehicles sold in the U.S. stands at 60% and reaches nearly 100% within the framework of USMCA, which is a relatively high ratio. And similarly, the local content of our vehicle is also high. We believe these high ratios are the result of our commitment to establish operations which take root in the local community. In addition, we have been strengthening our flexible production system that allows a swift transfer of production models between facilities. Such system is enabling us to adjust the production allocation flexibly according to demand. We believe this will be our strength along with the mixed model production line I mentioned earlier. And while maintaining our commitment to local production for local consumption, we will continue to strengthen our supply chains that will be resilient to unexpected changes, such as government policy changes. I've explained so far about the realignment of our automobile electrification strategy, but also I want to talk about our motorcycle business, which is the founding business of Honda and the starting point of the Honda commitment, offering the joy of mobility. More importantly, it has been playing a major role in establishing a solid business foundation of Honda. For fiscal year ending March 31, 2025, Honda motorcycle unit sales reached 20.57 million units, which account for approximately 40% of the global motorcycle market. We also set an all-time record sales in 37 countries and territories. And also, demand for motorcycles is expected to grow further, particularly in the global south, which includes India, the world's largest motorcycle market, where population is increasing and people's income is increasing. Industry-wide, sales is expected to grow from the current level of 50 million to the level of 60 million units by around 2030. To ensure we capture this growing demand, we will offer attractive products tailored to the diverse needs of global customers and also optimize our product supply system. Furthermore, for Honda to maintain its position as an industry leader in environmental initiatives, we will accelerate electrification of our motorcycle products, while also improving the fuel economy of our ICE models and expanding the lineup of flex fuel compatible models. As for electric motorcycle models, in February of this year, we began sales of Active E and QC1, which we announced in India last year. We also began sales of CUV E and also Icon E, our global electric commuter models, first in Indonesia, then in Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines. The CUVe is also scheduled to go on sale in Europe and Japan this year. Going forward, we'll modularize models developed exclusively as electric models and begin production at a highly efficient, dedicated electric motorcycle production plant, which will become operation in India in 2028. This will enable us to further strengthen our business structure for our electric motorcycle products. Through these initiatives, we'll offer more affordable electric motorcycle models to more customers. And further down the road, we will strive to capture #1 market share in electric motorcycle market as well. In this way, by continuously launching attractive products and building an efficient supply system for both ICE and electric models, we will effectively capture growing demand for motorcycles. Through these initiatives, in the long term, we will establish a solid profit base with a global market share of 50% and ROS of more than 15% as of 2030. Next, I will explain our plans to improve profitability based on this realignment of our electrification strategy. Although we are currently facing a challenging profitability situation due to various ratios like the impact of tariffs, we are expecting that our profitability will improve toward 2030 due to 1. Continuous expansion of motorcycle business, 2. Cost reduction effects in automobile business associated with the adoption of next generation e-health system and platforms, and 3. An increase in unit sales of heavy models. We will keep making progress toward achieving a company-wide ROIC target of 10% for the fiscal year ending March 2031. At last year's Honda Business Briefing, we explained our plan to invest 10 trillion yen in resources in the area of electrification. However, based on our decisions to postpone this project to establish a comprehensive EV value chain in Canada and delay the investment in dedicated production plants for next-generation EVs and optimize product lineup, we decided to reduce the investment amount by 3 trillion yen to 7 trillion yen in total over the period through the fiscal year ending March 31, 2031. Regarding the change in the capital allocation over the 5-year period starting from the fiscal year ending March 31, 2027, in light of a reduction in the investment amount of resources, we will strive to generate more than 12 trillion yen in cash, combining our ability to generate cash stably from our motorcycle business and our increase in unit sales of heavy models. For resource allocation through fiscal year ending March 31, 2031, while we reduce electrification-related investment by 3 trillion yen, we are expecting a minimum increase in the investment related to heavy business, which will be our focus going forward. As for shareholders' returns, we maintain the previously announced target of more than 1.6 trillion yen. With these plans, we will secure capital for the growth in the future and prepare for the upcoming era. By revising our resource allocation by responding to market changes swiftly and flexibly, we will establish automobile business that can prepare for the future while also improving profitability. By adding strong earning power of motorcycle business on top, we will pursue further growth even under uncertain market conditions. Also, we explained at the financial result announcement last week, we made changes to our dividend policy as an expression of our ongoing commitment to maintain shareholder returns in line with business growth. We decided to introduce DOE. In this way, we will achieve both growth through further strengthening of our business structure and a stable continuous shareholder returns at the same time. Today, I explained the current situation facing Honda as well detail about the realignment of our automobile electrification strategy with the eye toward the future automobile market. The trend from 2 perspectives. One, we will further enhance the competitiveness of EV and heavy models with the core focus on application of intelligent technology, and the other, how we will strengthen our business foundation through the reassessment of powertrain portfolio. This environment surrounding the global automotive industry is becoming increasingly uncertain. However, as I explained today, Honda is making steady progress in our initiative toward achieving carbon neutrality, while strengthening our business foundation through the reassessment of powertrain portfolio in pursuit of application of intelligent technologies, which will be core focus on executing our automobile electrification strategy, will work to create a new value unique only to Honda that will bring about the new possibility in mobility. Today, I introduced next gen ADAS as one example of such value, but we are also preparing to create a new value. We will set up separate opportunities such as tech meeting to introduce and let you explain details of such new values working. So please record it. Then that concludes my presentation. Thank you. Okay, we are going to prepare for the Q&A session. So please wait. Thank you for waiting. And now we would like to go into a Q&A session. And from now forward, in addition to President Mibe, our Director, Executive Vice President, and Representative Executive Officer Noriya Kaihara will join. I'm Kaihara. Thank you very much for today. If you have a question, a person in charge will bring you a microphone, so please raise your hand and please state your associate and also your name. And also, due to our time constraint, please limit your questions to 2 per person. Okay, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Okay, now, the third person from the back in the very front. Nikkei newspaper, I'm Okina. Thank you so very much. So 2 trillion investment is now withdrawn in 1 year, last 1 year. So the direct judgment, reason, or background, could you please elaborate on it? And also, EV's decline, is that such something that you did not expect before 1 year ago? So I would like you to elaborate on that. Thank you so very much for your question. So 10 trillion investment, largely, so electrification area and software area are the 2 areas that we wanted to invest in. So the reason why we are pushing on this trend is this investment is because, as I explained in the software, where including the next generation ADAS, that area is going to accelerate. So we are going to maintain the investment amount for that area, but for electrification area, as you know, in the North America and also maybe Europe as well, the EV market growth is declining or slowing down. So under this situation, and also the policy changes recently, and more than anything, the deregulation of environment policies. So it's not officially determined yet at this point, but in the state of California, ECC2 laws or regulations from 2026, we have to also allow, otherwise we will have to pay a penalty. So that kind of regulation included in reality. So the regulations are being relaxed. So considering that, our EV strategy was based on the production volume that can meet minimally to that level. So because of those regulations being relaxed or postponed, so based on this kind of market situation, so original electrification strategy should not remain the same. So as I explained in the financial result meeting in Canada, it was like 1.5 trillion yen investment was announced initially. But as for this, because of the slowdown of the market, we decided to push out a little bit for 2 years at this moment. So State of Ontario in Canada government, we have already explained this and that they understood our explanation. So that's the situation right now. And also in the future, so this 1.5 trillion investment in Canada, the base of that investment is USMCA environment. So then reassuming this investment in Canada, that judgment will be made as we check into the situation. It doesn't mean that we are going to do it in 2 years. We have to look the situation at that time and make a decision at that time. Did I answer your question? Well, in addition, so the electrification-related investment, it doesn't mean that we reduce the amount, but we just kind of postponed it. So the investment is coming after like 2030. So of course, the result of 3 trillion yen sounds quite hefty, but we just slide it to later years. So I just want you to understand that in that way. But mid to long-term perspective, EV will be the most effective solution. That idea, we never changed it. So it's based on that idea. So another question. So if a 2030 production units of EVs, so this time at 30% or less, so that's what you explained. So how much is it expecting focusing in the reduction? And also profit, are you trying to achieve 5% or more? Yes, for EVs. So far, it was like 2 million units that we have been upholding. But as I explained today, so automobile business total units, it's about 3.6 million units that we're assuming. So out of that, originally it was 30% EV ratio was set, but I explained today that it will be lower than that percentage. So it's very difficult to anticipate the market change, but as our assumption, like maybe up to 20% we will see the decline. So based on that, from 360 times 0.2 is, so by 2032, it's going to be 320,000 units. So about 720 to 350,000. So it will decline to that level. So that's the forecast that we are having right now. And also for related EV, as I said, 5% of decline in 2030, but for the next generation, EV development is ongoing. And along with this, that would be also postponed or slided. So it may be difficult to achieve that level. But for this, so next EV era, we will aim at 5%. That target hasn't been changed though. So whether a 5% attainment can be possible at 2030 or not is questionable. But instead of just shifting that target to later years is not a good idea. So we will try to achieve it as early as possible. Mr. Okinaga, thank you for your question. Any other questions?
So the third row. Narahashi from Yomiuri. Thank you very much for your presentation. Related to the previous questions, the partner portfolio, for you had a target for the on the number of the 2035 and 2040, which you already have announced, and how are you going to revise based on the reassessment this time? So the carbon neutral for 2050, that is our ultimate goal, may never change. But in order to achieve that, we have to set the milestones. For 2030, we're going to change the number to the lower side, but 2035, what will be our target? It's very difficult to calculate. For 2035, we're originally talking about 80%. Well, I don't think it makes any sense to say there are specific percentages, but after 2030, and also we have to watch the global environmental changes to set our milestones and the strategies. And then for the new cars, we aim at the carbon neutral by 2040. So that's our target. Okay, thank you. The second question is about the Chinese business. I know you're struggling, but you're talking about the next generation ADAS. So I would like to know your outlook of your business in China, and do you have any specific countermeasures, especially the PHEV? The demand for PHEV is growing, I think. Is it one of your focus? So China, yes, we are struggling. As a market, so it was like a 23.74 million cars. It's a large market, but there is a discount competition which is still ongoing. So it's about the average of the discount of the 40,000 yuan. It's very competitive market. And then the actual the selling price is going down. The ICE is our main business in China, so we are having a lot of difficulties and challenges. And PC2, ENP2, EMS2. Now there are two models that we launched in 2025 in March. S7, P7. The two models were launched. In total, we have 6 models in China market, and so far we are still struggling in the sales. That is because although the products are highly evaluated, it's a problem of the selling price, which is rather the higher side compared to the competitors' prices. That's our analysis result. If we set the special pricing or user intelligence, as we have a DeepSeek AI to implement as OTA, we actually applied for that, and if there's approval, we're going to replace with OTA. That way, we're going to introduce use more Chinese technologies, so that we can keep supporting the Chinese market, Chinese business. And as for the numbers, we try to reduce the fixed cost. In China, we have 1.2 million production capacity, and 960 for ICE, and then 240,000 for EVs. We have a direct personnel actually there has been reduced to about 700,000 capacity. And then we are going to try to reduce the indirect personnel as well. That's what we are planning. As for the closure of the lines, of course, the ice lines are already depreciated. So we are going to optimize the production capacity, closely looking at environmental changes. And then we keep reducing the fixed cost in a timely manner, in an appropriate way. That's what we are doing. What is your next question? The PHEV. Currently, well, actually, we are selling PHEV in Chinese market already. Although it's not really a big business in terms of the numbers. PHEV, we have a CRV, including the production capacity. Actually, we are producing to the maximum. We are still having a discussion if we have to expand our business there. Now we have a data. CRV and the Breathe and Accord, Inspire, there are 4 models in total that we are selling in China market. We are still not competitive enough. But in the future, we are going to closely monitoring the market for the PHEV. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Nanahashi, thank you very much for your question. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. So in the center, back row. I'm Terasaki from Discord. I have 2 questions. In the Japanese market, half of your units is 300,000 units is a light car, light motor car. So about the key automotive or key light cars, are they going to be also in line with the EV strategies in the future, or is there any other strategies exclusively for light cars? The second question, so motorsports, F1 included. So in the future, where are you positioning this in your business? So there are 2 questions. So in the Japanese market, N-Box, in terms of our business, is continuing the number 1 in the market, and this is our flagship model. And also the electrification of the compact cars, in terms of that, the one that we started selling, N-Van E, the other day, and also the one that's already announced, N1-based EV, is also going to be sold this year. And furthermore, in the market of Japan, we're not going to have a large EVs because it's a little bit difficult at this moment. So we will have a smaller based EVs, and that's our plan. It's not a K car or compact car, but A-Cat and B-Cat. And also electrification of that will be pursued in A category on the B categories, but in the Japanese market of Honda, we are trying to establish that as our Honda products. And also 0 series of Honda will be also added in the future. So it's not just compact cars, but in Japanese market as well, something that we can compete in a full lineup. reflecting electrification technology will be our strategy in Japan. But as soon as we decide what kind of cars we will prepare them, we will let you know. But not just the ICE cars, but also electrification of that car category is under study right now, and I hope you understand that. And as for motorsports, so we are like, thank you so very much for coming and asked to march with them next year. We are having a works system or structure, so we are going to have a good race in F1 racing. And up to this year, we had worked with Bull, but we cannot develop a high performance race. So with old engine, we have been working on it, but so it will change drastically. And at this moment, we will have our final development stage, and so the development is still undergoing, but for F1 racing will be continued. And as for motorcycle, so we haven't been able to win in a GP for a long time, but still we are continuing to develop. But as you can see in a rank, our rank has been increasing or improving, so we've been able to win, but still we are not enough. So for GP, the highest race will continue to be participating in a race as Honda's DNA. So as Honda, the priority will be placed higher to work on this area as well. Mr. Terasek, thank you very much.
The second one from the last row in front of me. Thank you. Yamamoto from Diamond. I have two questions. First question about the investment strategy. Originally, you're talking about 10 billion, and now it's a 7 trillion for the EVs. So the cash loss is the 12 trillion. So the 3 trillion, which is reduced, it will be actually the investment to the hybrid. Is that your enhancement or the focus? That's my first question. And related to that, my second question is 2031, the ROIC target is 10%. For the automotives and motorcycles, what is the differences? You mentioned that the automotive will be having a higher profit. I would like to know the numbers of your target. Thank you. First question about the investment strategy. As I explained in the chart, when you look at that chart closely, on the right, in the middle, in the gray area, it's about a hybrid investment. It is bigger than before. So the gray on the left is now bigger. So that means we have more investment in the HEV instead of EVs. As far as hybrid concerned, we have experiences and knowledges for almost 20 years. I don't believe that we have to invest a lot for HEV. Although we are going to produce more, but it will be a minimum investment to expand our business in HEV. So the reduction of the HEV equal a HEV, it's not the case. And then the investment in Canada is now postponed, and related to that, for example, like amount of the batteries that we need is now less. So the joint venture with LG, which already started, we are going to suspend some of the investment in that area. And there are some other items that we can suspend or postpone to investment in EV. And that is a total sum of that kind of investment reduction. But after 2030, we will need the huge amount of the investment. So that will be after 2030 to be ready and lead the EV market. So we have to make the most of the time that we have until 2030, so that we will be ready for the full-fledged EV era. That's our strategy after 2030. And the second question, and ROIC. So 10% for 2031. Because of the change in the automotives, profitability is improved. Now we have some ideas that we can achieve this. And before this, when we talk about ROIC, and the CFO mentioned that actually he asked us not to reveal these numbers. We really can't give you the detail or the breakdowns. But as Kaihara-san said, so there is some suspension of the investment, and the number is improved. And then the motorcycles will continue to grow. Yes, because of this change, we have a good outlook. As we discussed in the press conference, well, it will be about 1 trillion yen in total, and the ICE and the hybrid automotives will be also the profit of the 1 trillion yen. And the battery, EV, and the development cost is a negative 600 billion. That's the structure of our business. In a hybrid, I think we can achieve our target. And comprehensively, the ROIC 10% can be achievable by 2031, including the motorcycles. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Yamamoto.
Another question? Nakanishi from Nakanishi Research, Sangyo Jidosha. It's been a while, so I have two questions. So first one, in 2027, the next generation ADAS. So with this, and also the one that you've been working on, the 2028, and also Honda's ADAS, I could not tell the connection or relation between that. Is that something that you will develop a new one just for hybrid, or also the conventional ADAS strategy? How is it related? So you are not going to change the 2 trillion investment, or I would like you to elaborate on that a little bit. And the second question is maybe a question for CFO. So PBR, continuously it's less than 0.1 drastically. So you explained that you are going to recover it in the current and also future level, but the hybrid percentage is really high, and battery B is going to drop, which is good news, I guess. But the past issue is that, of course, you had some talk about the Nissan, but 1 trillion yen, and also that capital has been recaptured. So I'm concerned that it's going to go back to the past level, that you may have a surplus a lot. So does that mean that we've resolved the problem in the past before? So including all that elements, so your share price not going back is maybe that you do not have a future picture yet, and maybe due to the vertical or comprehensive
限界あるんじゃないかっていうやっぱり修正
strategy that you're planning, maybe there is a limit to that. But including that, I would like you to explain that.
とまず
As for
次世代 ADAS
the next generation ADAS,
は基本的にその開発
basically the-
という領域でいうと
in terms of
この
development area,
まあ ADAS それからそ
so
の
ADAS
AD という
and also AD, auto driving. So those two systems, we've been on, we are going to continuously develop on this, so that flow is always the same. Doesn't mean that we made a drastic change in this direction. But at this point, like by when, like how much of the volume have not been decided. So I hope you understand that way. But as for Zero Series, Rider is installed and AD level 3, which has a rider, so that autonomous driving car is also going to be introduced without any delay. So as for the ADAS area, NOA, what we call NOA, that is a general terminology, right? Is it? But so to the destination on the highway or urban area, it doesn't matter. Of course, driver is responsible for the performance, but a lot of support can be given to the driver to reach to the destination. So that our original plan against our original plan, so our flagship lineup, we are going to prepare all of them. So internally in Honda, we will try to increase the number a lot to reduce the cost so that we can generate the values. And that is a very big decision for us, but we would like to do that in FY 2027. So that's what we explained today. So I hope you take that way of our explanation today. And also,
あと少しそのずっと開発しながらですけど
so us, along with our development,
ルールベースのそういう
based on rules of AI technology, like end-to-end approach,
画像の認識から最後
the capture recognition to the performance or behavior of cars, that all that included. So all those processes, AI will function. So that kind of a system, like
AI を使って AI
by utilizing AI, AI will learn. That kind of development method has been advancing.
とその
So initially,
エンジニアの領域
our engineers' range or areas
かなりのその主力機種に
for all those, main models,
そんなような
we were hoping to apply this
手法なんかも
technology. But that kind of development method has been also progressing. So as I said today, in 2027 and beyond, I said a total of 13 models we were going to introduce, right? So
自動車の世界でいうとかなりの
in terms of automobile world,
見るようなことではないか
there will be a lot of game changes. So especially in market of Japan, maybe not so many people have experienced that, but China and a part of the US, you may have those kind of technologies in cars. But finally, in Japan, we would like to have that kind of vehicles in Japanese market.
PBR 一
And
番
also PBR less than 1 times.
今どうかなコンマ5ぐらい
So today is like 0.5 times.
非常に厳しい
It's a very severe situation right now.
PBR
But
例えば分解するとその
so if you break
と
it down, PER and also ROE,
入れ方をすると
so you can divide into that.
PBR って
So
いう部分
as
でいうと
for
まあ
PER,
期待値みたいな部分が非常
the
に
expectation amount or level is high, but
電動化
the electrification situation is uncertain now in the automobile sector. So automobile sector entirely is kind of slowing down in that sense because of the tariff impact as well. But for PER,
急激に改善するというかかなりその
so drastic recovery
まあ現
is
状
not
捉えています
there yet.
そういった意味ではその ROE
So in that sense,
これ課税
ROE
とかその
So tariff impact and also market slowdown is, but as Nakanishi explained, ICE will maybe expand a little bit and our profit can grow. So that's what we believe. So by increasing our ROE, I don't think it will reach to 1.0 times immediately, but by doing that, we can improve our profitability so that we can attain 1.0 times as soon as possible. That's our plan. Did I answer your question? Well, thank you so very much. So you're going to accelerate your repurchasing of your shares, or
まあ少し株主還元みたいなとこ
so return to the shareholders? We are going to change to DOE
株はするかしないか
as a dividend policy, but whether we're going to repurchase our
動的に対応し
outstanding shares or not is that we haven't been able to decide it yet. But
繰り返さないよう
without repeating the past issues, but with the investment for the future, we will have to take a good balance between that and also the return to shareholders. So I hope that my answer can satisfy your question. Mr. Nakanishi, thank you very much. I apologize, but because of the time, the next question will be the last question.
The second row from the front. Yokoyama from Toyo Keizai. I have two questions. So 3.6 million EVs, it's the same level of the 2025, and in China, you are struggling in the market. And if you can give us a breakdown of the global numbers, including Sony, Honda, and from Nissan, they talk about collaboration with Honda in North America. I would like to know the breakdown of the 3.6 million. That's my first question. My second question is, as Mibe-san said, the negative number of the EV business, well, there's a transient negative numbers this year as well. And what about the next fiscal year and onward, including the zeros, and also the EVs that you jointly develop with GM? So I would like to know how your strategy to sell E-Series. Are you going to pay some incentives to sell more? Or if you have any idea, it also related to the profitability as well.
はい、360
The 3.6 million
内訳
and its breakdown,
現在とする2030年
and now and 2030,
はだいぶ
or actually the same number, but the breakdowns are very different.
がまあちょっと本日どれぐらいどの地域でどう変わる
We don't have the number for each region today,
お話はできない。まあ明確には決まってないという
or actually they are not decided yet.
いいと思います。で我々としてはその現状のまあ台数を維持するということですけども。
So we're going to maintain the current numbers,
360まで維持できる。
but if you do nothing, we can't achieve the 3.6 million, and we have to focus on the growth area and the growth regions,
そこも踏まえて今考え
and we're going to consider where are the slowdown regions,
とですね、まあ例えば
namely
インド市場
India
とっては一つまた成長していく
for us is a possible growth market.
今日説明したその
And as I explained today,
武器にして
we have a weapon of the hybrid to grow in North America.
まあ地域によって少し
So depending on the regions, we have different plan, and then we have some fluctuations
一応以上という
to
けども、まあこれ以上
consist of the 3.6. We have to keep this number and then even grow the numbers strategically.
変えていかないとその維持
So that means we have to flexibly change the strategy to maintain the number.
地域含めてですね
So,
を変えていくということがまあ含まれて
so that includes the changing strategies for regions, but the number stays the same of the 3.6 million. And the next question is the 600 billion of negative EV business. When we started to go for the EV business, we are actually ready for this situation to some extent, about like 400 billion. Gross profit is about negative 20 billion, which is very difficult for us. Under this term, it will be negative 600 billion. But there are many uncertainties in the EV market. And then we now slided the EV development to the future, the number is getting smaller. So this is the same number as the previous fiscal year, but when we look at the next generation models after 0 series, but we have to change the lineups and the total units to sell. That will be corrected. But we have to ship our products to the market to evolve our products. And the volume and investment will be smaller, but it is important to launch the product to the market continuously. So it's a transition right now. We have to live through this transition period so that we can achieve the EVs RS5% as soon as possible. And in terms of the numbers, Sony Honda number is not included. The Nissan partnership is not considered at all. Thank you. Okay. And for the EV sales, are you going to, would you like to use incentives to sell more? Yes, we have to use the incentive systems to sell EVs. However, we are very proud and confident about our product values. So we are going to follow our plan to sell our EVs. For 0 series, we don't really want to do too much incentive. So we're going to follow our original settings. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yokoyama. This concludes today's 2025 business update. Thank you for your participation.